behind the scenes adventure with Keeper Ashley. Keeper Ashley, can you tell us who we're gonna meet?
Today we're working with my 3 grizzly cubs. Their names are Henry, Huggy Bear, and Scout. They are a lot of fun. They're still quite young, so a lot of things we give them are still brand new. It's very, very exciting. We're gonna do some fun stuff today.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
We're gonna be doing some enrichment today. I've already put one of them inside, just because it was big and heavy. So you've got peanut butter.
Oh, I got peanut butter.
I'm gonna get you peanut butter. I've got some honey.
Okay.
We've got a big jelly ball. We've got a big barrel and a big tube in here. What I'm gonna get you to do, Kat, is open up that peanut butter jar. We're gonna take that peanut butter and rub it on the inside.
All right.
This is gonna get our bears to kind of jiggle this around, stick their hands in here to get the peanut butter. They've never gotten this toy before. I'm really excited to see how they react to it. I am gonna put some honey inside our 3rd ball here, and I'm actually gonna take it up the tree. Kind of like if they were trying to find honey in the wild, they're gonna find it in a beehive, probably up some tree somewhere. So it makes it a little bit more realistic for them. This is probably my favorite part of zookeeping, is making enrichment, making toys for all the animals, making things super, super enjoyable. I love it. So as you can see, our 3 grizzly cubs are actually right over here. They're patiently waiting for us. They know that what's happening right now is they're about to get some good stuff, and being patient is gonna pay off. So this encourages them to climb and explore and try and figure out how to undo puzzles. So in this ball in here, there's a lot of the honey's actually inside. They can't really get their feet in here, so what they're gonna have to do is they're actually gonna have to knock it off the branch so that they can really enjoy what's inside of it. These are the bears that we're giving all our treats to. We've got Henry on the left, Huggy Bear in the middle, and Scout on the right. And they are siblings. They are brought to us under some unfortunate circumstances. They did lose their mother in the wild and were orphaned when they were less than a year old. Grizzly cubs usually spend the first 4 to 5 years with their moms, so they were too young to be living on their own. Now they're about a year and a half, and they weigh about 200 pounds each. Now's the fun part. Now we're gonna let our little savages out. Here we go, kids!
So that was so much fun. Ashley, can you explain what we just did there inside the enclosure?
So we just set up some really fun enrichment for our bears. I would like to say that was definitely a success. They're actually still playing with it now as we're talking about it. We set up that great big tube that had some peanut butter in it, the big barrel which had peanut butter and celery, and then our ball, which was very popular, filled with honey. So this is encouraging them to use their senses. They're using their sense of smell, they're using their sense of taste, obviously. And then they're also trying to figure out how to get things. So in that barrel, they've got to stick their little paws inside to get the peanut butter. It's rubbed on the inside of our barrel. And then for our little ball of honey, they did have to figure out how to get it out of that tree so they could really start to figure out how to get to the treat inside.
Now, are grizzly bears usually good climbers?
They are, especially this age. So it's one of their best defenses in the wild. If there's something that's threatening them, say another bear, or they get frightened and they don't know where mom is, they're immediately going to climb straight up the nearest tree and wait for mom to come and rescue them from whatever danger. So they are pretty excellent climbers. As they get older, they get a lot heavier. They don't climb as often, Black bears are a little bit more adept at that, and that's because it's a little hard for grizzly bears to climb with those really big long claws of theirs. They're really more built for digging. You may have actually noticed when we were out there that their enclosure is almost completely dirt. That's because they have dug up the entire thing. They've done some enclosure remodeling without my consent.
So what is the difference between a grizzly bear and a black bear? Because I know we do have some black bears over on the other side as well.
Yes, we do. And one of the greatest misconceptions is that you can tell them apart by color. Although black bears are called black bears, they can come in a whole range of different colors. They can be brown, just like grizzly bears. And grizzly bears can indeed be black, like black bears. The best way to tell them apart is actually by the great big hump on a grizzly bear's shoulders. They have this huge hump filled with really big muscles to help them with digging. They are incredibly strong. One of the other big differences between black bears and grizzly bears, black bears are a lot more timid, a little bit more shy, and they don't spend quite as much time digging. Grizzly bears, on the other hand, are incredibly aggressive and very territorial. So they're the ones that you really want to give them their distance if you're ever out in the wild.
So how big are our grizzly cubs gonna get to?
Right now, our grizzly cubs are only about a year and a half, and they are already 200 pounds. That is a very big 1-year-old, let me tell you. Sometimes though, grizzly bears can get up to 600, 700, 800 pounds, and sometimes as big as 1,000 pounds. Although that's usually more the male grizzlies that live on the coast of BC. When you live on the coast, next to all the water, you get a lot more salmon. So unfortunately, our grizzlies are orphans. So they did come from the wild. They lost their mom when they were only a few months old. So they were found by someone and brought to another facility. And they actually were so young, they have to be bottle fed. They were not ready to be on their own. Usually grizzly bears will spend the first 4 to 5 years of their lives living with their mom, learning everything they need to before they go off on their own. So being about 4 to 6 months old, they were not ready to be on their own. Now the problem here is that it can be a very complicated process to foster bears, and once bears get really used to people, they're not eligible to go back into the wild. So our guys here are known as humanized. They basically think they're humans, they're not afraid of humans, and so they're not eligible to go back into the wild. They'll spend the rest of their lives here, acting as ambassadors to teach other people about their species.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for taking us behind the scenes and giving the grizzly cubs enrichment. They enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, that was so much fun. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us as well. I hope you had a fun time meeting our keepers and our animals behind the scenes. We hope you had a great time learning and educating yourselves as well with our zoo.